Hello, my friends. How are you? Hiker Dave NE here. Thank you so much for coming by. I want to have a chat with you guys about something. I was watching a PBS special about a week ago, and it was about Alaskan polar bears. Now, these polar bears were coming into these communities more and more and more, and the people in these communities were thinking that there must be a boom in the population somehow. Something's going on. And as it turns out, the reason for the sightings of all these polar bears coming into these communities is because of the polar ice melt, and that their environment is being is in danger, and they're getting bolder and more brash, and they're getting closer to these communities for resources, for food. So it had the appearance that there was more of these polar bears when actually there wasn't. There was a problem with their environment, and that again forced them to be a little brazen and walk right into these communities and just start picking through dumpsters and running amok, so to speak. And since I've seen this this PBS special, it made me think. Now, it feels to me the past 15, 20 years or so that Bigfoot sightings are on the rise, right? Kind of on the uptick, that there are just so many more sightings. It could be that more people maybe are just talking about it where 20 years ago they didn't. Everyone's got a phone in their pocket, so everyone has access to a camera. When you're out, wherever you're going, you've got a camera, a way to take video or take a picture right in your pocket. When I saw, so I was under the impression that Sasquatch is doing well. Their numbers are good. They're all over the place, right? And I started to think that may not be so. That may not be the case at all. That perhaps their Sasquatch, their environment is at risk. So I started to do some searching on the Google machine, and a couple of hours I sat down and looked at different sites, Wikipedia, I looked at the National Forest Service and stuff like that. And I came up with some numbers here that I thought were really interesting. In 2010, these numbers are from 2010, there were 751,255,000 acres of forest in the United States, North America. Between the years of 1990 and 2010, that's a 20-year span, an average of 949,750 acres each year has been lost. So between 1990 and 2010, that's 10 million acres gone. Now, these numbers were 10 years ago. So add on another 5 million, right? Another 5 million. That's 5 million acres every 10 years. That's a astronomical number. It boggles my mind. The area I live in, I see logging trucks all over the place. Up north in northern New England, if you're looking for work, you're going to end up at a logging facility. They're just prevalent up here. They're everywhere. Truckload after truckload of lumber I see all on the roads up here, which is sad. I hate seeing that. But reading these numbers really put into perspective my idea of the population is booming, and that's why we're seeing so many more Bigfoot, right? And I started to think that may not at all be the case, that the species could be in danger right now, more than ever it ever has been. And that could be pushing them towards us closer and closer for resources. Now, I'm not talking about up in the mountains of Maine, really desolate areas. There's not much jeopardy going on up there, but they're logging up there as well. But I don't have the numbers specifically for that area, or even New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine. But I thought right away, wait a minute, maybe they're not flourishing, and maybe they're not doing so great in these populated areas where we're seeing Sasquatch more often. I hope that's not the case. I hope it's not because they're losing their resources and they're coming closer to us because of that. And I also wanted to mention too, I'm finding the same thing. I did some more research on mountain lions because I see the mountain lion tracks up here in my area, and the Wildlife Parks Service or the United States Forest Service will swear to you there are no mountain lions in New England, in any part of New England, which I know for sure that there is. I haven't seen one, but there are local people in the area that have caught them on trail cams. And they say that some people are mistaking large bobcats. I know the prints I saw. I compared them to mountain lion prints, and I know that there's probably a 150-pound mountain lion that's roaming around, more than one. Ordinarily, they wouldn't have to be in this area. I believe because of the loss of their habitat that coincides hand in hand with Sasquatch habitat, that could possibly be the reason why we're seeing more and more people seeing these things. I'd like to get some feedback on that and tell me what you guys think. The numbers really are staggering, that every 10 years we lose 5 million acres of forest. That is a frightening concept. What is this going to look like in, 50 years from now? I don't know, but the numbers really are pretty sobering to think that we're losing that much forested area. It's something like 27 soccer fields every minute or something like that. It's some crazy numbers that I have a hard time wrapping my mind around how much we're losing, which that trickles right down to the wildlife and the dangers that poses to them. My opinion, guys, let me know what you think. Leave a comment below. Thank you so much for coming by and for clicking, and I'll definitely see you on the next one.